Blackstock is excused. Blair.
Here.
Horn.
Here.
Pat Salas.
Here.
Udo.
Here.
Town. Here. Simons.
Here. Kathy, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Moving on to approval of the agenda. You have the agenda before you. Does anybody have any additions or deletions to the agenda as presented? Hearing none, a motion to approve the agenda as presented would be in order.
I'll make that motion to approve the agenda.
That's Horn.
Horn, yeah.
And I'll support it.
And Angelo supports. All right. Is there any further discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the approval of the minutes of November 7, 2016, public hearing and regular meeting. They're in your packet. Does anybody have any questions on the minutes?
If there are no additions or deletions, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of November 7th, 2016.
I'll support.
We have a motion to approve the minutes of the public hearing and the regular meeting. Is there any further discussion?
The support was Horn.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know your voices yet.
And no further discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to public comment. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to speak on anything that's not on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. The consent agenda, C1, November 2, 2016 Historical Commission Minutes. C2, October 2016 St. Clair Fire Report. C3, October 2016 Investment Income Report. And the C4 is the October 2016 Revenue and Expenditure Report. Is there any questions on the consent agenda? If not, a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll make a motion, we accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll support.
It's been moved and supported that we accept the consent agenda as presented. Is there any further discussion?
Is that Horn? Who seconded?
Boda and Horn.
I did.
And if there's no further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to disbursements. We have invoices of $125,016.85. We have accounts payable of $41,246.26. We have a payroll of $11,240.72. We have a payroll direct deposit of $12,462.05. We have an EFT payment of $10,188.93. Excuse me. We have a tax account of $17,857.34. We have a total disbursement of $218,012.15.
I'll make a motion, we, I'll make a motion, we pay the bills in the amount of $218,012.15.
I'll support.
Voted Pasalis. We have a motion and a second to pay the bills in the sum of $218,012.15. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Blair.
Yes.
Horn.
Yes.
Pat Salas.
Yes.
Udo.
Yes.
Simons.
Yes. Motion carries. Next, we have new business. We have new business number 1 is the DTE street lighting that I told you about last week. I gave you a copy of this. I tried to call them again today, I'm not getting through, they're on vacation or something, but, you have it before you, they're asking for $27,236 as our aid to the construction, and we're gonna have an annual savings of $9,326.46. The project payback is 2 years and 4.2 months. So, I mean, it seems like it's a pretty good payback for what
Oh, I
we're
hope so.
spending.
I think we're foolish if we don't go for that one.
I agree, Mr. Horn.
There are more costs involved in that, though, that aren't coming before us, like the DTE labor contribution.
Yes.
They're putting in $6,000 into this.
Right,
And then also, we're getting a rebate of almost $4,600. So,
right.
I mean, overall, we're getting it from all ends.
I mean-
I have a question.
Yes.
The municipality contribution, is that upfront?
Well, it says
Paid
here
over
up
time?
front, it says it has to be an authorized signature on the municipal street lighting master agreement, and the payment contribution will be our notification to begin the final design.
So
That's what I tried to call them for today, was
So
to find out when we had to pay our money, because I was meeting with Corinne, our bookkeeper, to see if we had to expend the money now or next year. Either way, we're probably, if we do it now, we're gonna have to do a budget amendment, which I think it's worthwhile to take it out of our savings to do it, because we're gonna save so much money over the 2.5 years.
After 3 years, we're gonna save.
Yeah, we got our money in the bank, not making that kind of
$9,300 a year.
interest, you know?
That's a lot of savings.
So we do have the money in a fund right now that we could get to. right?
Well, we have it in the general fund,
Okay.
we could take the money and, we're gonna probably do a couple of budget amendments, our last meeting of the year. We were talking about them today, I think there's 2, so, it's not that we can't do it, but I was trying to find out if we have to send the 27,000 when I sign this municipal lighting master agreement, which I don't have that, so they're gonna have to furnish that to us.
How long do they think it'll take to do this, Larry?
He didn't give me
Did you give
no,
me no time?
no. Remember, we contacted him back 6 months ago?
Yes.
And it's taken this long, and he kind of forgot, and then I think Mr. Horn brought it up
I know we
a
had,
couple months ago, and then I called him again and got this guy going again, so.
and we gotta do something within 3 months because.
Right, that's what I mean, I don't want to miss this window of opportunity, because this may be gone after this.
That's right. Gotta
So-
jump on this one.
So what we're looking for is just to get brighter streetlights, right?
What's that?
We're looking for getting brighter streetlights.
Well, they'll all be LEDs which run on less electricity, and then the hours on the bulbs are going to be a lot longer too. I mean, they should run thousands and thousands of hours, I don't know the exact
Years and
numbers.
years.
Yeah,
Some of them 20 years.
Well, I would like to make a motion that we approve the Detroit Edison streetlight to the LED conversion at a cost of $27,236.
And I'll support that motion.
all right, it's been moved and supported that we get with DTE and do this LED street lighting for $27,236. Is there any further discussion? Do you understand what we're doing, Kathy?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So if there's no further discussion on it, we'll have a roll call, please.
Horn,
Yes,
Matsalis.
Yes.
Udo,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Town, yes. Simons,
Yes, motion carries. So I have authorization then to sign that form then?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Next, under new business, item 2, quotes for an office computer. This computer is for our clerk's office. A couple of years ago, we took that computer out of that office and used it up in the front here, because one of ours went bad, so there was no computer in there. And I really feel, and Mr. Town feels, that he needs a computer to communicate in there. So we've got, the office manager got 2 quotes. And what we have here is, before you had a revised copy from High Tech, because they didn't include that. On the other one, there's a $299 there. What the heck was that for? Are you familiar with all this, Craig?
yes.
From
Right, so
IT.
you got hardware and then, and a monitor, and then you have, software. and then engineering charges. So it's kind of,
I know trustee Blair mentioned about
Sure.
buying the windows, but I think it all comes as a package, doesn't it?
I checked with a source.
We can check that out, but
I checked with the source, and that's a good price.
it is a good price.
It is a
yeah.
good price.
Usually, when you're buying it like this, it's a package deal. But what they were omitting was this, on the IT right, was that 229 one, I think it
29.
was? So that's why she called them. And this is a Hewlett Packard, what we're gonna get, and this is compatible with what we have the rest of the machines in the office, so. She's recommending that we use this one, and they're the My Deal too, and they're low bid, and this is high tech for $992.
Yeah, they're local.
Yeah, this is out on, it's actually one of our residents works there.
Palms Road in Casco.
Yep.
That's up there
Local.
by 32 Mile.
Yep, right by, they're right behind that gas station. And they've done us some service too, you know, when we've had some problems, we've had them in here.
Well, if the computer looks good and it's something that our clerk, Greg, would want, I'll make a motion that we approve the computer to be bought from High Tech at a price of $992.
I'll support.
That is, we have a motion to approve buying the computer from High Tech and a second for $992. Is there any further discussion? Everybody knows what we're doing? Okay.
Bodone.
Boda.
Boda.
And everything is,
Second?
everything is on there, right?
I second
That we
it.
need.
Boda seconded. Everything is on here what we want. That was
Okay.
what I checked just before I went home today.
Okay.
So if there's no further discussion, a roll call again.
Blair.
Yes.
Horn.
Yes.
Bodeau.
Yes.
Pasalis.
Yes.
Down, yes. Simons.
Yes, motion carries, we buy the computer. Okay, moving on to new business 3, we have the resignation of Greg Town from the Planning Commission. That's in your packet, that's because, you know, he can't be on it as the clerk. So I guess a motion to accept his
Yeah,
resignation.
I'll
with
make a
regrets.
motion that we receive and file a resignation from the Planning Commission of Greg Town.
I'll support that motion with regrets, but he's with us here.
So we have a motion to accept his resignation with regrets. In a second, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We accept his resignation and promote him to the new. And by the way, I should back up here a little bit to when we had the roll call. We do have a new clerk, it's Mr. Greg Town, and I want to welcome him to the board. And we also have a new trustee, and Kathy Blair, welcome to the board.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
should have done that when we did the roll call, but I kind of got carried away. And I hope you have a long stay and you're really active, and it seems like you both are going to be real active in what we're doing here, which is what we need. Okay, back to the new business 4 is the appointments. You have a list in your, on the back of your agenda there. These are the appointments that are expired right now. Do we want to just go down through them and decide who we want and then just make one motion to accept them all at the end?
Yeah.
Does that work for everybody?
That would work.
Yeah.
Rather than making and voting on every one?
Right.
All right, deputy treasurer, that'd be up to Mr. Boda to appoint his deputy. I imagine it would be Teresa.
Right.
Am I correct? So you're making a motion to,
Yeah, Teresa's my deputy
okay,
until November 20th, 2020.
all right. And next we have the deputy clerk through November 20th, 2020. That would be up to Mr. Town.
I appoint Sandy Smith.
Okay. Next, we have the Marine City and St. Clair Fire Authority. Mr. Boda and I are both on that. Mr. Boda is not, his term doesn't expire till 18, but my term expires here right now. So I guess I would like to stay on the fire authorities.
Yep.
So I'll make a motion that I stay on the fire authorities, Marine City and St. Clair, unless there's questions. All right, number 4 is the Northeast Watershed Group. If anybody wants to be on it, before nobody wanted to be on it, Sandy Smith does all the bookwork for it, and she goes to the meetings, so it's during her regular work hours, all we have to pay is the mileage, so it really doesn't cost us that much to do that. So I would make a motion that we keep Sandy Smith unless another board member wants to attend those meetings. They're all during the day. They're usually in the morning. So if somebody else wants to, we can take her off. But if not, I'm suggesting Sandy Smith. Moving on to number 5 is the Election Commission. We need Greg Town and 2 other trustees. Who do we have now? Horn and Pasals?
Yes.
Do you guys want to stay on,
Sure,
or?
I'll
Yeah, I'll stay on it.
on it.
Good.
All right, so there's your 2 there. And we have to get some here for Kathy, too. I want to get her on some of this stuff.
Next one's a good one.
Okay. Next, we have the Township Board represented to the Park Commission through November 20th, 2020.
Seeing as though he's not here, I'd say Mr. Blackstock.
You're showing
I
more
recommend.
interest in the historical? That's up to you, though, Don. I mean, you've been it for years, but.
Did you want to keep doing it?
Herb has said he'd like to be on the park.
Okay, he's got it.
He's always got it.
Want to go Herb then? Okay. Next, we got the Planning Commission, and that's Herb too. I mean, those are the 2 that he's on. Does anybody have a problem with that?
Nope.
No,
Then we'll make a motion that Herb be that one. Then the next, we got Joanne Copter to the Planning Commission.
That's a
Did
good
she
one.
didn't give you an answer yet?
Yes, she did. She said if no one, she wants to go to round 2. She doesn't want to accept right now.
Okay,
But-
well, we don't have to fill that one right now.
But if no one else, if there is no one else, then she would agree to it, but I have to ask her again.
All right. We can leave that one. Let's strike a line through that one. We don't need to have that. That's,
She doesn't
we're
take-
mostly doing board appointments here.
She doesn't take it, I'll get after her.
Yeah, you get after her. All right, next we have Greg Town to the Zoning Board of Appeals through November 20th.
That's good.
Do you want that, Greg?
Good?
That has to-
Yes, that's fine.
All right. You capturing all this stuff?
Yes?
Okay. Next, we have Ralph Knott to the Zoning Board of Appeals. He is offered to be on that. I mean, we don't have to do that one right now unless, we already have a board member on it. Really, what we're doing is switching Greg and Ralph in the 2 positions, right?
Ralph, yes, Ralph's not on the board, on this, he's not a trustee, so he'll be
He'll be the at-large.
the at-large.
Right.
And Ralph is volumes of knowledge right there.
If no one else from the board wants, I'd make a motion for Ralph not to stay on that.
Yes.
he does a good job. I was on it with him a while
Yeah.
back.
Next, we have Mark Miano and 2 trustees on the Lot Split Board. Now, Kathy said she'd like to be on that.
That's a evening position?
It's a what?
Evening
Yeah.
position?
Yes, it is an
We'll
evening,
stay.
isn't it?
Like Angelo and I are on that, we'd stay on
Oh.
it if
Yeah,
you
we'll
want.
stay, I'll stay on that also.
So you both want to stay on that? Kathy can't be on it?
Yeah, it's okay.
You're on it? Did you guys want it?
I'd
Okay.
like to stay on that board,
Yeah,
yes.
I'd like to too, so.
That's fine.
All right. Township Board of the Township represented to the Construction Board of Appeals.
I'm on that, I'll stay on that one.
Now, we got to get Kathy something here. We're not, we're we're running out here. All right, next we got the,
Well, Kathy, there's, the planning commission.
Well, she'd never be doing anything on that, because I've been on it for 4 years and haven't met,
yeah,
so.
No, I'm talking about number 8, planning
She could be the
commission.
planning commission.
no, we better keep Herb, I think, on that planning, because he's an engineer and he knows a lot of input on that.
Well, that's
planning.
right, Herb is, that's right,
Yeah.
I forgot, he's the representative from the
Engineer.
trustees.
I mean, unless you want to be on the park, would you,
Finish up the list first.
okay, all right, let's see what we get down to here. All right, next we got the Sewer and Water Authority. Right, was it Ralph or you? Was there both? Do we have one or two? One of yous was the rep, oh, I got it right
I
here.
was a township board rep.
So do you want to stay on that? Or do you
Yeah,
want
I guess.
Kathy to have something like that?
Yeah, I could stay on there, I guess. Till I get tired of it, and I'll talk to Kathy.
What's that?
Till I get tired of it, and I'll talk to Kathy.
Well, I can learn it with you.
Yeah.
Who's on that one, the sewer and water?
I am.
The Sewer and Water Authority, it's Mr. Boda, and Mr. Knotts has offered to stay on that as an at-large member too.
I've been on for 30 years. So.
Well, we don't want to kick you off after 30 years. Okay, then, the next one we have is the, so that'll be done. All right. Next one we have is Historical Commission through November 20th.
Now, Kathy, if you
I would love to do that.
have the rep now, you want to be the rep for the board?
Yes, I will.
You can still stay on as a board member,
Yeah,
or as a member of the
from the board.
Historical.
Yeah.
With 30-some years, you got a lot of history.
We need your support.
32, no, 33.
So we got one for Kathy?
Yes, I will be happy
Historical?
to
Historical,
be
yep.
at the
Let me read
historical.
these to you before I.
Just let Debbie know she's
Okay,
going to
we
be
will.
the town board rep.
Then we have the Township Board representative to the Beautification Committee.
I'm on it, but I can't really help them a whole lot, not with my knees, so. I
You interested in
just
that
assume- I just soon get off and I'll help them if I can during the summer, but
Sure. If you-
It meets at night, too.
Yes.
They don't meet during the day.
they meet the first Thursday of the month at 6 o'clock.
Thank you. I'll be there.
Okay, now this is, Mr. Town's going to read to us what we're going to be voting on.
Ready?
Yep.
Number 1, Teresa.
Mhm.
Number 2, Sandy Smith.
Mhm.
Number 3, Simons.
Yep.
Number 4, Sandy Smith.
Yep.
Number 5, Town, Horn, and Pasalis.
Yep.
Right.
6, Township Board Representative, Blackstock. Number 7, Blackstock. Number 8 is crossed off. Number 9 is Town. Number 10 is Knott's. Number 11 is Horn and Pasalis. Number 12 is Horn. Number 13, Bordeaux and Knott's. Number 14, Blair. Number 15, Blair.
Everybody clear? Nobody has a
Yep,
problem?
That's it.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept all these positions, appointments.
I'll support.
It's been moved and supported that we appoint these board members to these positions. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We got through that. All right, moving on. We're supposed to go into closed session, but I don't know where our attorney is.
She's supposed to be here tonight.
He was supposed to be. I thought he was going to be here, but
Did we confirm it, or?
I didn't confirm it with him today.
You want me to go into closed session?
why.
Want to make a motion to go into closed session?
We can't right yet.
We can still go into closed session, yes,
All
but
right.
let's go down through and we'll do that at the end,
Okay.
all right? I'm gonna do the announcements right now. The township offices will be closed November 24th and 25th for Thanksgiving. Yard waste collection ends on Friday, November 25th, because of the Thursday holiday.
Do we think you might want to extend that one more pickup date after that, because there's still a lot of leaves coming down yet and stuff.
Well, that's another week.
Yeah, you mean December then.
Well, if we get some calls on it, we could probably extend it, yeah. What I'd like to do is go to member comments, and then we'll go to then we'll go into closed session, and after closed session, we'll just adjourn. No business will be conducted after the closed session. So, member comments, Mr. Horn.
Okay, I want to welcome the 2 new members to the board.
Thank you.
I want to also to the returning members, and I hope we can all work together for the betterment of the township in the terms. And also, I would like to say, I didn't say goodbye to Ralph and Dee last time, and we're going to miss them, but I think they'll still keep in touch. I know Ralph is. And also, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, it's a Christmas parade in Marine City. And that's all I have tonight.
Thank you, Don. Mr. Pasales?
Again, I'd just like welcome Kathy and Greg to our board. Looking forward to working with both of you and hopefully to continue to move our township forward. That's all I have, Larry.
Mr. Boda?
Yes, I would also like to welcome Kathy and Greg to the board. Hopefully we'll be on for a long time.
Thank
As
you.
long as.
Thank you.
What's it? And one other thing, I'm sure that Cindy has told you about some of the trouble over at the park with one guy that's been walking a dog not on his leash.
I'm going to bring mine in
And
tomorrow.
she called the police again after calling on him last year. This guy's getting her in a real lot of trouble.
Is the police coming?
Somebody came in last time, but she didn't think he was a regular deputy. He didn't do anything. Now the guy's just threatening her through his car when he was threatening her, so.
All right, well, I'll talk to the deputy.
Yeah, maybe Bucket can do something on him, make sure he
Okay.
kind of watch that park a little more.
All right. Yeah, because we don't want that, and we don't want our people confronting other people either. I mean, tell them and get away.
All right. I have nothing else, thank you.
We have a letter from dated November 8th from the County of St. Clair Office of the Administrator/Controller. It concerns the county has passed an ordinance to allow countywide off-road vehicles on county roads. They have requested verbally, as I understand, that they want to try it out for a year before any of the townships opt out.
And we do have that option to opt out at any time that we feel we want to opt out, we can.
And when we do, if and when we do opt out, to notify the sheriff. It's only an announcement.
Right, and people should, if they don't know what the ordinance is, they should get a hold of the St. Clair County and get the ordinance and find out where they can ride. They just can't ride everywhere. There's certain places they can ride on the county roads, like they can't run down 29, M29 and stuff like that.
It's county roads, not state.
Yep, so make sure you know the law before you get in trouble with it. So if you're going to be riding on the road, you should probably check with it. And we'll probably get a copy of that here, too.
I'm sure the county's going to pass out the ordinance and
All right,
put them out there.
Kathy Blair?
I'm very excited to be on this board. I feel like I can learn a lot. I hope I can bring some experience. I'd like to keep the momentum going forward like you gentlemen have been doing in the past.
Thank you. Thank you. I also would like to thank Kathy and Greg for running and getting elected, and I'm looking forward to working. I've been working a little bit with Greg for the last week or so. We're making some headway already.
Yes, I believe
Kathy
so.
we're going to get her in the loop here pretty quick, so. The other thing, I got an email today that they're going to have a training for new elected board members It's going to be December 13th at the Port York Convention Center. So maybe Greg and Kathy would like to go to that. I'll be getting more, we'll have more on that before the 13th comes. I'm sure I'll have more on it at our next meeting. I think it's the 3rd. So if they want to go to that. Another thing I had
Excuse me, is that an evening or a daytime thing?
It'd be during the day, I believe.
Okay.
It didn't have a time on it,
Oh,
that
okay.
I remember. It might have. But I just got it, I just looked at it before I left today. The other thing is, had a conversation with China Township Supervisor today, and as you know, I talked about it last time. We're gonna do they're asking to do a sewer line extension to pick up the houses down on King Road. Remember, we told them we needed more information? Well, she gave me more verbal information. It's gonna run between $5 to $6 million to do the project. Whether they do it down Recor Road to King and King down to 26, or they go, that's one route. The other route would be to go down the bike trail to Springborn Road and then Springborn Road west to King and then down King. What Mr. Newmer, the engineer from Wade Trim, said that if they went down the bike trail, they think it would be a 50-50 split with East China and China. So you're talking about $3 million.
They got a big plant over there, they can afford it.
The other option with going down King Road, they thought China would have to pay between 60 and 70%, and we would pick up 30 to 40, which I don't know if we're ready to jump into that.
I don't know if I want China telling us what to do with that sewer line. If they have that much control, that much money to do it.
How many houses are on King Road in East China? 3,
Approx-
4?
One or two, isn't there?
No, there's more than that, I think. There's one.
One or two
It's
on
probably
the
about
south
7
end.
or 8.
Yeah, no more than 7, no more than 5 or 6 or 7.
Then on the China side, I think
We're
there's.
talking about-
But the other
17
thing is,
houses.
you gotta look at the big picture here. We're restricted at
Oh,
the,
yes.
we're restricted at the Springborn Road lift station,
They should
which
pay
is on the
all
corner of
shot.
Bell River and Springborn.
It's not gonna be official.
Pass.
We can't,
Even though we get.
we can't put on any more houses on there because the line size is restricting us. So eventually, sometime, we're going to have to extend our sewers down that direction. Whether we do it as a community or a developer comes in and does it.
The ideal way, I think, is run it down that bike path to Springborn and then out. But
But the question is, do we want to spend do we want, they're still doing some more investigating. Mr. Newmer from Wade Trim said there's some grants out there that could pay up to 75% of it. So, I mean, if they got some big grants,
You better say go out, record a King Road and all the way down then, rather than going to Springborn Road, because then if you go south, somebody's gonna want it up to the north.
Somebody's gonna have to go
and you
north.
turn around and go up to the north.
yeah, that's
North
right.
where?
It's
son.
up there.
Well,
Houses where?
He said if you go down,
well, that's China
Oh,
Township.
East China, well, yeah, China side up there, yeah, they still wanna have sewer, and they have to turn that sewer and run under there.
Well, then I'd have to do that, you know, but it involves a river crossing here, because they gotta go across the Bell River. Either one, they gotta go across Bell River. And it's probably gonna be a couple of lift stations, which are quite expensive,
Well, the
probably
one
a
that's there
$250,000.
now is that capacity.
Well, we're limited on the capacity, I guess. I don't know, what do you want me to tell China? They're gonna have a public hearing, I think, the first part of December, to try and to have the residents come in. I mean, there's such a thing, we would have to do assessments on the properties that adjoin that. I don't know. I mean,
Larry, I'm just looking at this, there's nothing pushing us to put the sewer in.
No.
There's something pushing China to put the sewer
Correct.
in. So if this sewer goes in, we have to get some kind of a benefit out of this. It's not gonna be a 50-50 cut, because we're doing it just for China's sake. We don't have to
Right.
do it.
we would
So,
be for futures.
I mean,
of what we-
they would have to compensate us for all the costs that it's gonna take for our assessments, for all the work we have to do for that. We have to be compensated for all that.
Right.
And if they're not willing to compensate us or give us some kind of a kickback to do this study, I don't think we should lose anything on this, because they're the ones that pushing to have the sewer. It's not a necessity for us right now.
And with our situation with the St. Clair Power Plant and DTE, and
Right.
that's, I wouldn't feel comfortable bonding $2 or $3 million.
China wants it to take care of those 9 houses that have,
17.
there's 17 houses that along there.
West side of King Road.
It's a lot
On
of
the
money
west
for
side,
17 houses.
And it's because their drain fields don't work.
Failing
Correct.
septic system.
Failing septic, and it drains into the DOTs.
Septics are failing out there.
But they could build a little package plant, one of them steel package plants, build it in a factory, bring it on and set it in place and hook it up for those
Where do they
17
do that
houses.
at?
Buy a lot.
There's no way
They had thought about that,
They have, okay.
yeah. They've run
Larry,
that.
there's no way they can tap into Marine Cities there?
They can. That's an option. There's 3 options.
That would be their best option, to tap into Marine City. We really don't need it right
Then
now.
they'd be afraid the Marine City would try and annex them, that's the thing.
That's part of it too. But they're a charter township, so they really
Right.
can't be annexed, but,
Well, they can be, but it takes a lot of voting. doesn't it?
right. So, they're just asking us if we would, and I agree with Angelo, I mean, it's gonna be hard for us to get in the game, and we don't have, we're speculating for new houses. I mean, there may not be new houses out there for 20 years.
And again, we have to see what's going to happen with DTE. We have to find
Yeah,
out.
that's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying.
We have to find out what's going to happen, because that'll have a big bearing on a
When,
lot
yeah,
of
when
things that we do.
DTE is.
Okay, so I'll tell her that, that we gotta see more about what DTE is gonna do before we want it. And we think that it's their issue, not ours.
Okay, if it goes down the bike path, is there enough easement on the bike path that they can put a sewer down alongside, or are they gonna rip the bike path?
Well, they'll probably tear the bike path all up, running trucks down it. Yeah, there's enough room. I think it's like 60 feet wide or something. I'm
Well,
not
it's the
sure.
oldest railroad right of ways where it is.
Well, yeah, but we own it.
Yeah. To the Gersie.
Well, I haven't found that out yet. I haven't found
It's,
anything
it's,
in writing.
trust me, it's to the Gersie.
Could you get me a copy of that?
Should be something in
They looked.
the books.
Okay, I'm gonna check with the attorney next on that. So anyways, I'll get back with Linda and tell her what our board feels. Do you know what we're talking about, Kathy?
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right. And Greg, you know what it is. And the other thing, I'd like to thank Ralph and Dee too. I mean, Ralph has been a real steady on that sewer and water authority and watching our water rates and sewer rates. I mean, he's good with those numbers.
They're both going to be missed.
Yep. So with that, I guess we'll have a motion to go into closed session to talk about union contracts.
I'll make a motion, we go into closed session for discussion on the union negotiations.
I'll support.
It's been moved and supported that we go into closed session. I want to reiterate that we're not going to conduct any business in the closed session, and when we come out of closed session, we are not going to conduct any more township business other than to go back into open session and adjourn.
Excuse me, who's the
You
second?
gonna put a time on that closed session?
Mr. Bowman.
Yes, 8:08.
Who's first and second?
I mean,
Don, and then I supported it. Don made the motion, I supported it.
And that was at
8:08.
8:08. So is there any further discussion on the motion to go into closed session? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We go into closed session. We'll have to ask you gentlemen to leave.